My husband and I are blessed to have relatives in Central California, an area with some of the most diverse wildlife in the entire United States. On our last day in California, I wanted to explore the tidal pools, which is something I've never really done before, and I was hoping I might find a new species for my life list. We arrived right as the tide was receding. We quickly found some sea anemones, which coil into a small ball to protect themselves with the receding tide. You can also see a black Tegula snail shell spinning just to the left of that anemone. And pretty much everywhere you looked, you could see dozens of little hermit crabs and more snail shells covering the rocks.
Look at all those snails, wow. Huge cluster.
I'm learning and looking up species as I go, but I'm pretty sure these little hermit crabs are called Pacific hairy hermit crabs based on the white bands on their legs.
There's probably lots of interesting stuff under that kelp.
I learned that this particular anemone species is called a Starburst Anemone. Has to be the coolest name ever. They can also come in lavender or pink, but most of the ones we saw were blue. I can't really get a closer video, but if you look right over there, right there, above my finger, a couple of black oyster catchers. We weren't really seeing much else in the tidal pools, so we decided to drive to another beach accessed from the Monarch Butterfly Grove. I think this beach access is really underrated. It's a short walk from the Monarch Butterfly Grove, and it's less crowded than the main beaches. Unfortunately, like most of the beaches in the surrounding area, the dunes are covered with invasive ice plants, Delosperma. One little fun fact about these, though, is that they open up in the sun and close in the shade. When we got to the beach, I was super excited to see hundreds of sand dollars washed ashore. I learned that this species is called the Eccentric Sand Dollar. A living sand dollar is purple and covered in tiny velvety spines. You can tell when a sand dollar is dying when they start turning more of a white color in the sun and they lose their velvety spines. I've also noticed that the barnacles have usually detached themselves by the time the sand dollar is dead. So right here, the front bird, can't really tell where my finger is pointing, that's a snowy plover. The rest of them are Sanderlings around there. Oh no, the one behind him is a snowy plover too. So the 1 and 2 snowy plover, and that one's a Sanderling. Actually, all of these little ones here are snowy plovers. There's like 5 or 6 there, over there. It's very hard to get close to them because they're very skittish. The rest over there are Sanderlings. taking a minute to highlight these snowy plovers because they're a threatened species in the US due to habitat loss and human disturbance. Plovers are very shy and it's hard to get up close to them, so I apologize for the quality of this video as I'm filming it with my iPhone through my binoculars. I'm not the best at gull identification, I don't get much practice with it, but I was able to confirm with my brother that this one in the foreground, preening his feathers, is a first cycle common gull. I know this bird looks like every other gull, but what stuck out to me is that he was a bit smaller than the nearby ring-billed gulls, and he has a cute face. And you can see he almost has like a petite head and petite bill compared to the other gulls nearby. Pretty sure the one directly to the left is a ring-billed gull and the one directly behind is a California gull. Can't remember the others. So picking through this flock, the largest gulls present are western gulls, and then there were also a couple of young Heermann's gulls. They're not pictured in this video. And then for the most part, most of them were California gulls and then a few ring-billed gulls mixed in. This video doesn't do it justice, but there truly were hundreds of sand dollars washed ashore, and I had a great time collecting the ones that were clearly no longer alive and added them to my collection at home.